What's going on, my broskiis? My name is TheLordShiro, back again here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're going to be talking about some things that have actually changed within the past couple of days, because we made already dedicated videos in regards to what I think are going to be dropping for the 11th anniversary of OPTC. I think a lot of people have kind of come to the consensus that, you know, we're going to be having a new Gear 5 Luffy, most likely, or an Egghead Luffy in some capacity. I think a lot of people agree with the fact that a new Borsalino is also insanely likely, considering, again, the most recent episode with amazing fight sequences between Luffy and Borsalino. But from there on out, it's kind of hard to kind of guess where they could kind of go. And a lot of people kind of threw out the idea of Saturn potentially coming. And of course, there are going to be some manga-related spoilers. So if you guys are anime-only watchers, I would advise to skip, because we are going to show a specific panel from the manga. And I know that people who are not, you know, manga readers are gonna not like you being spoiled, so ensure that I don't want to spoil anyone for you guys, so I would advise to skip. However, if you guys are manga readers, let us continue. So let's have a look at the most recent episode breakdown, or what is it, like a preview, right? It's a preview for the next upcoming episode, and this is kind of crazy because I completely didn't even realize that this was coming so soon. So the fact that we are looking like going to be getting Saturn, as you can see in this scene right here, we have the pentagram with the number 5 on it. Right here, boom. So he is going to be arriving next episode, or my assumption is that it's probably going to be the final scene of the episode, is where we get Saturn making his appearance on Egghead. And with that, I mean, the episode after that, I mean, let me pull up the calendar real quick. So the next episode is going to air Saturday/Sunday, and then the episode after that is actually going to fall on the date of the anniversary. So I think that there's a very high chance, I would say it's like a 99% chance at this point, that Saint Garcia Saturn is going to be one of the 11th anniversary Super Sugo Fest exclusive characters, and I think that's insanely hype. There are some, like, questions about it, though, in terms of what, even if he does drop, right? Like, what could he possibly do? This is a new character, right? He hasn't had representation in One Piece Treasure Cruise before, so we don't really know where they could go with this. So I'm about to show a manga panel right now, so if you are not a manga reader, I'd advise skipping. Without further ado, let's move on. My assumption is they're going to show off this version of Saint Garcia Saturn. It's going to be, even if he has an unevolved artwork, maybe it's going to be his normal human form, and then this would be his evolved artwork. It's going to look something like this. He's going to be in this form, which is going to be insanely hype. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the special animation is going to be. It would be kind of interesting if he has an entrance animation. You know, as soon as you start the quest, a little animation plays with the pentagram. He appears. That would be so sick to have that as like an entrance animation. Maybe it's going to be similar to like Sulong's, where, you know, entrance animation pops in his new form, and then for a certain period of time when you're in the content, he just has like crazy OP abilities. The thing about this guy is that he is insanely strong. And seeing his powers and abilities represented in Treasure Cruise, I think, is going to be really challenging. Some characters get amazing representation and really cool ways of implementing their powers into the game. Obviously, the number one character that comes to mind in regards to that is Legend Sugar. I think they implemented her abilities perfectly in One Piece Treasure Cruise. They don't always do it correctly, though. Even the Sulongs, right? The Sulongs have great representation with their abilities in the game. You know, for that short period of time, they're just insanely buffed, and they just insanely fast, and they go through defensive effects, and it's really cool. But not everyone gets the same kind of treatment as those characters. But I think with a character that is as hyped up as this, and look, there's going to be more of this to come later on in the year, then we're in for some pretty cool stuff, right? So what can we expect from this guy in terms of Treasure Cruise? Now, I think that it's pretty much a no-brainer. He's probably going to be the Driven class, but I also can see him being Powerhouse and Cerebral. I feel like he's kind of shown traits of characters being a Powerhouse unit, very durable, and being able to output a lot of damage, but also he's a pretty smart character as well. I feel like a lot of the 5 Elders are Cerebral and kind of smart characters, so I can definitely see that being the case as well. Heck, they might even drop Driven and he's just Cerebral Powerhouse. That could be definitely the case as well. Maybe he's mono driven, who knows, like they could do a lot of different things. But of course the thing with this anniversary update is the introduction of the tag mechanic. So I suppose we can go in game right now and have a look at some of these tags. Now I've already gone through these tags, and there's really not a lot of tags that I feel like Saint Garcia Sadden could kind of have. Now, after going through all these tags, there were only 2 that I found. I think obviously he's going to have the Egghead tag. I think every character within this anniversary period will have the Egghead tag. But when you move past that, what else could he have? Now, there is luckily a tag for Celestial Dragon. And it is interesting that he is here for the Celestial Dragon tag. When you have a look at it, only these 3 characters actually have that tag. And it's kind of fascinating because, like a lot of characters don't have their tags in the game. Like, there's a lot of older characters that don't have their tags, but why for some reason do they give these characters specifically their tags? I believe that they are actually counted as 6-star characters, which is kind of funny. Story mode characters, like free-to-play legends, which is kind of funny. But these, yeah, they are 6-star characters. So it would be kind of interesting to see what happens, because they are considered Celestial Dragons. So I think it's a no-brainer that he's going to have that tag. But when you really have a look at the rest of the tags in the game, like, then he's not a Navy character. He's technically not a World Government character. I guess technically he could be classified as World Government. I don't think he would be, but technically World Government is a tag that he could have. So if we have a look at the World Government tag, what do we have? A pretty small amount of characters, mainly looking at the Cypherpole characters. So he could have that tag, which could work with additional CP0 Rob Lucci's that come out in the near future. We'll have to wait and see. But, you know, he may have the World Government. He's definitely going to have Celestial Dragon, and he's definitely going to have the Egghead tag. So it really comes down to, like, how is he going to work? Because, as you can see with this one, the World Government tag doesn't have a lot of representation. The Celestial Dragon has essentially 0 representation. Egghead is very big. Egghead is a tag that has a lot of representation right now, and it makes sense. I think the Saga tags are going to be the best teams in the game moving forward, if they end up making the character tag system as in, like, the new meta of developing characters. And if that is the case, then yeah, the arcs are going to be the best way to represent characters. But I think it would be strange. I don't know, this is just my opinion. I think it would be strange to represent Sadden by making him boost Egghead characters. I just don't think that really fits with the character. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what they have in mind. My assumption is that he is going to be a character that boosts Driven and another class, and that the character will state if you have, like, another Celestial Dragon character on your team. So maybe they may have another character to have representation for Celestial Dragon. Maybe they give level limit breaks to the free-to-play Celestial Dragons to actually make them usable. Who knows? Or if you have another World Government character on your team, then you can get additional buffs that way. But I do think that this is the type of character, with how crazy and abnormal his abilities are, I wouldn't be shocked if this character has similar-esque abilities to how the, like, the Seraphim are kind of designed, and how Alba is kind of designed, where they have that innate ability to just resist a bunch of debuffs on themselves. I think Sadden would be perfect, and a lot of these other, you know, Gorosei characters to have that kind of ability where they're just resistant to a bunch of stuff. I think that would be pretty neat if they go down that route. I'm not expecting him to be a versus unit or a dual unit or anything like that. I feel like it's going to be a solo Saturn character, and if that is the case, I am supremely excited to see what they have in store, because this is definitely one character. Ever since the announcement of this character in the manga for the first time, everyone has been waiting to see how this character was going to be represented in the game, and this is the time that it's likely going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what they have in store for us. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about this one down below in the comment section. Really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.